Hey there, old school gamers. Welcome back to Grumpy Old GMs, where we work to help you bring out your inner greatest GM, or DM, or referee, or storyteller, or judge, or even the coolest one I've seen so far. There's actually a Labyrinth, like Jim Henson's Labyrinth movie with David Bowie from the 80s role-playing game, and they actually call the game master the Goblin King. So that's like the coolest one I've ever seen. But yeah, I've actually been thinking about if I ever ran that game, I might even cosplay as David Bowie or something, like put on a wig and stuff, just because I'm a big fan of the Labyrinth. I'm an 80s child, so, you know. Anyway, so today we are going to do what I think is perhaps the most important one of these videos I've ever done. Because this one is about how you can know objectively, not just in your opinion. This is how that you can know that you are a good GM, DM, whatever you want to call yourself, whatever fits the game you play. This is how you can actually know objectively. So I'm going to tell something that was told to me by my mentor when I was growing up, when I was a late teenager, early 20-something, something like that. I've talked about him before, Ron Watson, and he taught me everything I ever needed to know about DMing, and I'm going to do a video about him tomorrow because he also taught me as a late teenager, early 20-something, pretty much everything I needed to know to be a man. So he's kind of functionally my father figure in addition to being a mentor for DMing. But we'll get into him tomorrow. But right now, I want to tell you what he told me about how to know you're a good DM. So one day he asks me, he says, John, you think you're a good DM? And I said, well, I don't think anybody can really ever, because I'd already thought about that. See, I already had an answer ready because I'd already considered that question. And I thought I don't think anybody can really know because, we human beings, we are creatures of ego. I mean, we are, and I think DMs have the biggest egos of all of us, humans. And so every DM thinks that they're the shizzle. I know I do. And if you're a DM out there and you have any confidence at all, I know you do too. We all think that we have the imagination that's just going to set the world on fire. I know I do. And so the thing is, because we're creatures of ego and we all think that we're the shizzle, I was thinking that there's no way to objectively know that you're a good DM. It's got to be subjective. We all have opinions, and you know how opinions are. And so that's the answer that I offered to Ron Watson. Was I said, I don't think anybody can really know because I think it's subjective and I think it's a matter of opinion. And he says, no, John, there is a way to objectively know that you are a good GM. And here's what he told me. Now, it's a little bit dated because society works a little differently now in 2023, but we can definitely still apply it. So back in the, late 1980s, early 1990s, when he would have told me this, it was not the world of cell phones. It was not the world of social media. And so there was actually this thing that we humans did back then, those of us who were alive back then. We actually sometimes went to other people's houses just to see if they were home. Like, this was a thing. We would knock on the door, and if they didn't answer, then they didn't answer. I mean, that's just something we did. Now, today in 2023, we, just text people and stuff. But, imagine a world where, because it existed, I lived in it, grew up in it. Imagine a world where sometimes you go to people's houses just to knock on the door and see if they're home. So Ron Watson said that if you have ever had somebody come to your door, knock on the door, and ask you if you could just run a game right then, spontaneously, it's not the normal scheduled game night, it's not the normal scheduled game day, it's not part of your regular campaign, they just want you to run, and they really, 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 really want you to run right then. Could you please run? It's kind of like classic, little kid stuff in the neighborhood, can Johnny or Susie come out to play? So if somebody comes to your door and pretty much begs you spontaneously, just please run me a game. And then Ron Watson said, then if you have to tell them no, because, you have a spouse and kids and a job and responsibilities and you have things going on and you're trying to, do something with your life or, just get through life or be responsible with your life or whatever, if you have to turn them away, and then you shut the door, and he says, and then you stop yourself from opening the door and calling them back in anyway. He said that is the moment that you know that you're a good GM or DM. You know when you have that experience objectively because you've gotten that kind of feedback from the world around you. So it's not just some subjective opinion because we all, as DMs, have egos and think that we're the shizzle. Oh, somebody's calling me on Discord. Just a second. Thank you for your patience. But yes, that is how you can know objectively. That is how the universe will tell you that you are a good game master or dungeon master. Now, I don't know exactly what this would look like in 2023 because people don't just go over to people's houses just to see if they're home anymore. But I'm sure that there's some way that we can apply this idea. So just wanted to offer that out there. If you enjoy this content, get something from this content, if this helps you be a better DM or a better player, we do have our Patreon down below where I will call you on Discord or on the phone. And I will hook you up with some other coaches that work with me, and we will help you with your personal development and issues at your table for your players and your DMing, whether it's professional or casual. We also have our Discord where you can just kind of hang out with us, and you can also join our games and game with us. Our schedule is at grumpyoldgms.com, and the link to that is also down below. In the meantime, I will see you around the gaming table.